I've tried to film this 3 times now, because the first time I sneezed, I got this cute, before I get into this video, I got this cute little strawberry shortcake first aid kit, and it has, well, band-aids, and I assume they're strawberry shortcake. I'm disappointed that they don't smell like strawberries, but anywho, this video is about the pros and cons of the film industry. And I didn't forget this. I got my little microphone, but I'm talking about the pros and cons of getting into the film industry. For me personally, it's just, I love movies. As Keanu said, I love movies.
I love movies. Gosh, I love movies. I love watching them, and I love making them.
And I love the creative aspect of it, and I love putting it together. I'm actually having like a good time and a fun time in my class, but it's such a... God, I'm sorry for the burping. It's such a big, like, industry, and it has its problems, like with any career, but mostly it's just the sexism and the bigotry that women have to face in this industry, unfortunately. And I've read some interesting articles about this, but just from my personal experience, it's just frustrating to me, because my class is just so male dominated, and it's so frustrating because it's just seen for the cis male gaze most of the time, and we just talk about male directors, rarely women accomplishments. And in the film classes I've taken, the 2 out of 3 film classes I took, because my first film teacher was really great. I thought he heard like my voice, and I thought he taught the class well, but my other 2 film teachers have been, well, I just feel like they take the male voices more seriously than mine and the other women in my class, and it's very discouraging, to say the least, but I'm gonna keep on fighting, and because I know what I have to say is important, and my voice, you know, everyone's voices is important. It's just and I'm not even in the industry yet, but just being in my class, I can already tell, just from like being in a class experience, that there's still stigma around women in the industry. And I read this interesting article called "Women in the Film Industry Don't Lack Ambition, They Lack Opportunity," which I think is very true, and there's an interesting quote from this article. I just have to pull it up. And one of the quotes is, according to a 2015 study, that 25% of male 25% of male film directors and writers said that they didn't hire women because they thought they lacked ambition, which, if we learn anything from this channel, is that men always have the audacity to say the dumbest shit ever, which I think is so rich, because men have produced like franchise after franchise, and it's basically the same thing but rebranded. Like, men, and it also, like, reading articles and videos, it says that men handle more of big budget films, and it's just like, I haven't, like, big budget films, like, what, it's just like, it's the same shit over and over again, and if anything, I think they lack their creativity and ambition. But that's just fucking whatever, pardon my French, but that's just one quote from this article. And then, according to The Guardian, from this article, it said that 90% of the time, the people who you pitch your idea to are men. And even though they might be very sympathetic, they do not look at the world from a different perspective, which I think is so true. It's just, like, you not only being, like, experiencing being patronized and looked down upon simply because you're a woman. We cater to men in movies, like with the male gaze, the slow-mo, women as just sexual beings, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's all seen from a male gaze. And so we can't, not only is the industry male dominated, but we cater mostly to males, which, Hollywood is always like, oh, we're so progressive, but it's definitely a reflection of the society, and society sucks. Get a load of this freaking society. So that's enough. It's just discouraging, like, seeing this. And then it said that if a woman is a director or on top of the food chain and working on a film, she's more likely to hire more women than as of men. You'd be lucky if you're a woman and you get hired in a fully male dominated team, which, I mean, it just sucks, quite frankly. And just being in class and just watching, I follow a bunch of people, women who are in the film industry on TikTok and YouTube. It's just a constant, you always have to prove yourself. You're not, it's not automatically, oh, she can do this, it's, can she do this, it's just a question. And it's just, even in my class, like I said earlier and in my previous videos, it's always just like a male directors they list as their favorite directors, and rarely do I ever hear a woman, and a woman's work is more criticized heavily than a man's. It's just hard. And then I read another article. Well, let me first define the male gaze, because I kind of just briefly talked about that. And the male gaze is a term coined by film critic Laura Mulvey in 1975 to describe just how, when you watch a movie, it's like you're watching it in the point of view of a man, quite simply. And there's a lot of examples, like Megan Fox in the Transformer movies, which Michael Bay is disgusting, and well, I'll get into my brain's working too fast. I'll get into that topic later. But Megan Fox in the Transformer movies, even my Queen Marilyn Monroe, she was mostly perceived in movies, with a male, what he wants in mind, which is so. But luckily, I don't want to just focus on the negatives, even though it is a mountain to climb. It's gonna be, tough for me, but there are great female directors, like Catherine Bigelow, I think that's her name. I'm sorry if I say that name wrong. Regina King just got nominated for a Golden Globe for being a director for A Night in Miami, which it is on my list to freaking watch. And it's hard for a white woman, but I can barely even imagine for a woman of color trying to get into this industry. It's just horrible. And I feel like, hopefully, with more, social media has helped to get more ideas out there. And, when you're a woman, I just hate that we just have to go for this. I'm not good at articulating my misery. But I read another interesting article. It's from The Guardian, and it's more women than ever are working in film, but men still dominate key roles, which is freaking true. I'm gonna read a quote from the article, if I can pull it up. Men writing the films, men making the films, men being the protagonists, and men being the target audience, all combined into a unified heterosexual male perspective of, and men are allowed to have more complex characters. It's just a lot of blah. And I watched a great video on YouTube, called Women in Film Debating Gender Bias in the Film Industry, which I recommend you all watch. It talks about two female cinematographers and how hard they had to work to prove that they could do their job. and it's interesting. It's not very long. It's just an interesting short video, and I know I have work cut out for me, but I do. Even though what I said before is all just negative and discouraging, like I said, I do love films. I've always loved watching movies. I love writing. I just have to have more confidence in myself. And I love the creative process and putting a project together. Like, I think that's something so beautiful to me. Like working hard and actually like seeing what you've done. And my first film teacher was very good. I thought he was great. And I've made a few pals in my classes, so that's good. And everyone, like, all the people in my film class have been very kind and, willing to help each other. And this is just something I feel like I was, like, not to be cliche, born to do, but even just commenting on movies, and pop culture and stuff like that, I feel like is, what I like to do. But, yeah. And even more, not to always talk about the more negative stuff is the sexual assault that goes on in Hollywood. Like with Harvey Weinstein and all these men coming out the woodwork. It's just, it's just even triggering to talk about, but I bet it's just horrible for the people who have to experience that. It's just, I feel like everything in our society needs like a facelift, needs to change. It shouldn't be going on like this, and but I feel like, as I said, there are a lot of great women directors out there, and they're definitely pioneers. And I like the quote that good women rarely make history, or whatever. You just have to not be afraid to step on some toes. And yeah, that's that's my piece. I wanted to talk about this for a while now, just getting more deeper into my film classes. You notice patterns. And yeah, you just notice patterns and stuff like that. But I'm learning a lot in my film class. And I have class tomorrow, so wish me luck. But certainly, and for me, just because I prefer, like, I love movies directed by women more. I just feel like, nothing against men, because I do have some favorite male directors of mine. It's just, we see the same world, going on a rant. But thank you guys so much for your support, and I hope you like my commentaries, and if you have any constructive criticism, please leave some in the comments for me. And thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Hello everyone. And before I get started with the video, I wanted to show my cute little strawberry shortcake first aid kit. It has band-aids. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Sorry if you're a headphone user. Yeah, this is a cool. Oh fuck, is my phone upside